At this point, Calijah Kancey looks like exactly what we thought he would be. Coming out of the draft, he was basically the smallest and most athletic defensive lineman in combine history. 6'1", 280, extremely short arms, but elite quickness and explosiveness. And that's all translated to the NFL up to this point. He's shown some real juice as a pass rusher, but the run defense is still a major concern for me. He missed weeks 2 through 5 with a calf injury, only played 11 snaps in the first game. I remember week 1 going through watching all the first round rookies, and immediately Calijah Kancey just pops off the screen. Second drive of the game, he beats Ed Ingram with a club swim. I'm like, okay, we got something here. You see the explosive first step, lightning quick hands, the ability to cross over from gap to gap in a split second. And like I said, he only played 11 snaps in that first game, but he had that pass rushing win. He also got a quarterback hit on this TE stunt. Vita Vea pressures the B gap to occupy the guard, and then Kancey's just a blur looping through the A gap. So even though he only played 2 drives before getting injured, I felt very confident after week 1 that the Bucs got something with their first round pick. And after playing 9 full games, I've been very impressed with Calijah Kancey's skill set as a pass rusher. The athleticism and movement skills are obvious, but what's been most impressive to me is his pass rushing plan, his ability to win with different moves. The club swim is probably the most common move for a defensive tackle. That's been really effective for him so far. You see on this play from week 7, the first few steps of a club swim have to be upfield through the B gap because he's trying to club the inside shoulder and accelerate inside through this A gap. So his first few steps have to be a hard sell upfield to get the tackle into a wide set. So Matthew Bergeron has to widen out to respect that B gap rush, but then Kancey has the twitch and agility to quickly strike that inside shoulder, cross over from the B gap to the A gap, swim over the top, and pressure Desmond Ridder. Another one here from week 13. Again, he's starting out rushing down the middle, threatening that B gap. He plants off that outside foot and then covers so much ground so quickly with those next couple steps. Good hand placement on the inside shoulder. It's funny watching such a short defensive tackle be this effective swimming over the top of offensive linemen that are 5 inches taller than them. But again, you've got these stiff phone booth offensive guards. They just don't have the slide quickness to keep up with a player like this. And it's not only that he can win that initial hand fight, he also has the bend and fluidity to redirect his path straight to the quarterback. He's got 4 sacks on 29 pressures this year, but over time, I think this is going to be something that translates to a high pressure to sack conversion rate. He can win quickly, and then as the quarterback tries to shuffle his feet in the pocket to avoid the pressure, he's able to change his path and close in. But on this play specifically, you can see as the guard's falling down, he grabs Calijah Kancey's ankles and trips him. So probably would have had a sack on Bryce Young here, but at least he draws the penalty. And then another club swim here against the Colts. You get more of a quick jump set from the right guard. Kancey's first step is inside, the guard's first step is outside. So Calijah Kancey has that quick reaction time to recognize he's going to have inside leverage on the block and get into his club swim. And then he accelerates upfield, forces Gardner Minshew to basically throw it away. Good coverage by Zion McCollum. So pretty much every good pass rushing defensive tackle is going to use the club swim, but Calijah Kancey has a lot of other moves at his disposal to switch things up so blockers can't key in on one thing before the snap. He's really good using cross chops and swipe moves to beat the blocker's hands. This play from week 6, he uses the cross chop where you're chopping across the body, so inside hand on the blocker's outside hand. It's hard to know here exactly if he misses with this first chop or if it's a purposeful kind of fake chop to bait out the tackle's punch, but either way, that chop gets the guard to punch, and then he comes in with a swipe to defeat the outside hand. Once he has leverage on the outside shoulder, he rips through, bends, flattens his angle, gets a hit on Jared Goff. Right here, you see him use kind of this circle punch with the inside hand to fake like he's cross-chopping to the outside of the blocker, but then he uses that circular motion to build up momentum with his punch. He gives a hard strike to the inside hand, then comes back with his other hand, cross-chops that same hand. Good recovery by the guard here, but I love the technique from Calijah Kancey, at least to start out the rep. Same move here against Houston. Again, you see him fake the cross chop to the outside hand. Once the tackle punches, he pulls his hand back and then loops back around and swipes the inside hand, swims over the top, splits the double team, forces an inaccurate pass from CJ Stroud. And then this is an awesome play from later in that same game. If he can start stringing moves together like this, he has elite potential as a pass rusher. So again, he's going to fake the cross chop, draw out the punch from Titus Howard. Once Howard extends, he immediately gets into an inside spin move. He's already gotten Howard to punch with his inside hand here, so when Kancey spins through the A gap, he doesn't have that hand available to him to help his recovery. And then he pressures CJ Stroud, forces him to bail from the pocket. Really nice throw on the move, but Antoine Winfield's there for the coverage. Nice play here against Buffalo. He's lined up at a 3 technique. His first step, he's going to even out his leverage with the guard, and because he's starting to threaten that A gap, the guard extends his inside hand, and then Kancey just explodes off that back foot, double swipes the inside hand, accelerates to the quarterback. Anthony Nelson's unblocked, so he gets the sack, but Kancey was right there. The more I watch these undersized defensive tackles in the NFL, the less concerned I am when it comes to like draft season about their ability to power rush at the NFL level. As long as you've got an explosive first step, which Calijah Kancey does, being smaller allows you to create a leverage advantage a lot more easily actually, and especially if you have the short area lateral quickness to threaten other moves, you can get the tackle off balance and create displacement into the pocket pretty easily. So I think Kancey's done a great job so far, whether he's hitting them with power immediately or he's threatening another move, getting them off balance and then transitioning to power. He can push the pocket, create opportunities for other players, or if the coverage is good, when the quarterback steps up into the pocket, he's already in good position to just disengage and get an easy sack. So the early returns for Calijah Kancey as a pass rusher are very promising. To see someone with these athletic traits already be so technically sound with his hand usage and his footwork, it's just hard for me to imagine him not being a productive pass rusher a few years down the line. He's already a splash playmaker, but when you look at the back half of his rookie contract, I could easily see him being a 60 pressure, 8 to 10 sack a year type of player once he develops.
If you're enjoying the video, make sure to subscribe and leave a like, and also follow us on all of our social medias. The links to those are in the description.
Now, the run defense is a completely different story, to be honest. There's no way to sugarcoat it. He has a 29.2 run defense grade, which ranks dead last among defensive tackles, and the main concerns that everyone had pre-draft with his lack of size and length, those have definitely showed up in the NFL so far. He ends up on the ground way too often, just so many examples of him getting completely taken out of the play. If a blocker's able to get his hands locked in, he just doesn't have the length to disengage and keep himself clean. At this point, he's very easy to reach and seal on zone runs. I haven't seen blockers have a difficult time trying to cross his face, and on overtake blocks, offensive linemen can just pass him off down the line of scrimmage easily. He gets cleared out of his gap, displaced downfield, whether it's a double team or a single block, and he also misses a lot of tackles. There are times he's able to shed the block, but he just doesn't have the tackling range to wrap up and finish. Now, we usually see young defensive tackles, especially undersized ones, struggle in run defense early in their career. The fact that he's not a good run defender at this point isn't a death sentence on his career or anything, but the fact that a lot of it's a result of physical traits, that means he's gonna have to make up for it in other areas. His block anticipation has to improve. He's got to do a better job keeping his feet clean when he's flowing with a run. The majority of times that he gets put on the ground, it's a result of his feet getting tripped up, and in isolated cases, that's not necessarily something you blame a defensive tackle for, but when it's happening 2 or 3 times a game, you know, he's got to do a better job staying on the play side of a block, keeping his base away from all the traffic so it isn't as easy to just fold him over. With a long-term defensive tackle combo of Vita Vea and Calijah Kancey, maybe you can get away with one of your defensive tackles being a good run defender, the other one not being so good, but it's still something that's going to have to improve at least a little bit. I do think if he can take some of that quick hand usage and ability to transition that we see as a pass rusher and translate that to his run defense, to me that's the easiest path to see noticeable improvement here. And anchor isn't purely a size thing. A lot of it, like I mentioned, comes down to footwork. So there's realistic paths to improvement. I've just got to see it happen first. He is at least making some plays as a run defender. 9% run stop rate, ranks in the top third of the league. Really nice quick stack and shed here against Penei Sewell. Shoots his hands inside, deconstructs the block, squares up with the ball carrier, makes the tackle in the backfield. The fact that we've seen him have success as a power rusher, I think if he can get to the point where he's reading the play quickly, he does have the potential to be someone that can stand up down blocks. You see right here, he stands up the center, he's trying to seal him off on the backside of power. He disrupts the running back's path, disengages, makes the tackle. Here he's able to read the play, club swim the guard, get behind him. He doesn't finish the tackle, but he's at least in pursuit, funneling him towards other defenders. And good job here against Atlanta on the backside of outside zone. He swats down this cut block attempt. So yeah, if he can get to the point as a run defender where he's continuing to make plays and he's less of a liability on a snap-to-snap basis, I think that's good enough to have him on the field as a 3-down player, and then you get all the benefits of his pass rushing ability. But as impressive as the pass rushing has been, the run defense is just something that has to improve.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments any NFL players or teams that you'd like me to cover.